The biggest problem nowadays is that men lack discipline. They lack discipline to train. They lack discipline to better themselves. They lack discipline to eat healthier. They lack discipline to go through life. And I think the biggest problem that causes this is just the convenience of this world. All the fast foods that you can order. All the just having the accessibility to all the stupid clubs and the vanity of this world is completely destroying men. And mainly social media as well. Because you can literally grab your phone out your pocket and you can start comparing your life to other people. That is the biggest problem nowadays. Is that there is a lack of discipline because of the convenience. Because of the things of this world that are completely, truly impacting men. And I fell into that stage for many years of my life as well. Spent a lot of time on my phone comparing myself to other people, trying to validate myself through people's opinions, trying to validate myself through things that I didn't even have any interest doing because other people did it as well. And all these things that completely blind you of your potential are destroying you as a man because of your lack of discipline. Your lack of discipline. Discipline is when you take an action without having an emotion tied to it. And a lot of the time, we take actions with emotions tied to them. Now, not all actions that have emotions tied to them are bad. But most of the time, those emotions that we have that are tied to the actions, they deceive us into the wrong path, into complete destruction. And that's how I spent most of my life, deceiving myself through the emotions that I felt that were tied to the actions that I took. And just an example of this is on a day where you're meant to eat healthier, where you're meant to stay on top of your diet, and you're not meant to eat junk food, you feel some type of way. You feel like you need a comfort, you need a rest. So you go out there and you just get some food. You get Mackies or you get some, I don't know, some junk food, and you eat it. You took the action based on your emotion, but you didn't take the action based on the purpose that you wanted to achieve, which was to get yourself into shape and to just be in a better state in life. And this is what many men struggle with. They want to better themselves. They have the desire to get shredded, to get jacked, to be confident, to be lean, to just all the good things of life as a man that you're meant to become, that God has literally set for you. Yet, when the time comes to take the action, but another emotion deceives them, they don't take that action that they're meant to take because they forget the purpose behind the action. So they follow the emotion behind the action. And many years of my life, I struggled with gluttony. I struggled with just pleasure because of the emotions I was attaching to my actions. I had the desire to get into the best shape. I had the desire to literally go from this overweight, fat, pudgy kid to getting completely jacked and just to having the vision of getting shredded and to just improving myself in life. I had that desire. I had that vision at the beginning. But what really just kept me back was the emotions that I felt towards the actions that I needed to take. Every time the weekends came, and it would be the end of the week, and I'll be dieting, I'll be training hard. The Fridays came, and I saw all the food, all the junk food. Everyone's off work, and now you have the emotion to comfort yourself. You have the emotion to have that rest in your mind, to have the rest away from the pain that you're feeling from giving up your desires and your wants. And I did that for many, many weeks of my life, for many, many years. And I couldn't get to the stage which I am in now because of the lack of discipline that I had, because everything I did was relying on my emotions. And this is the biggest problem nowadays. Men rely on their emotions, but they don't rely on the purpose that is set for them. One thing that really taught me discipline and gave me that mentality to get myself shredded, to build a mindset, to build structure, to build a method which really got me into shape and got me into a better state in life was boxing. Because in boxing, nothing is tied to emotion. Everything is tied to the purpose. Everything is tied to bettering yourself and fighting against yourself and your own desires. And that was one thing in my life that really kept me going with my mindset, my habits, and my discipline was boxing. Because I always desired to be in better shape, to be shredded, to just be athletic. But I never really got there because of my environment and everything that I was around. All the comforts, all the pleasures, and all the validations that I tried to achieve through external circumstances, which were of complete vanity. And until I went to the boxing gym and started training there, I started to realize that all these things, like the clubs, the partying, the pleasures, the comforts, the foods, all these things don't matter. They're complete vanity. Because when you're in that pain and you're fighting against yourself in the boxing gym, you're training hard, it literally just puts you in a state of being locked in and realizing what truly matters. And that is working towards a better version of yourself, of fighting against your desires. That is what truly matters. Because at the end of the day, the validation that you get from other people, the perspectives from other people, the pleasures of this world, they leave you with no benefit, and they leave you with no hope. But when you're training with intensity and you feel that pain and you see other people going through that same pain and that suffering in the gym, you start to realize that that is the true thing that you should be doing. It's fighting against yourself, your desires, fighting against your flesh. Because that is how you improve in life. That is how you become a disciplined man. That is how you get yourself into better shape. That is how you become much more tougher to go through circumstances in life that you will face. All these other things, they won't help you and give you more strength in life to face circumstances, to face problems, to face struggles. All these things will do is give you the pleasure for the moment, but then they will completely destroy you because that emotion is completely deceiving you. All the comforts, all the junk food, all the partying, all the BS, the lust, everything doesn't matter. It is all vanity and it's completely destroying you. As a man, discipline is the number one thing that you can work on to better your life, to better your physique, to better your mindset, to better your habits. And I'm here to tell you that my life completely changed when I started boxing and I attained that discipline through building that fighter mentality, through fighting against myself, through going to the gym even when I didn't feel like it, through training with other people, seeing other people suffer, and telling myself that everyone here has the same emotions and feels the same way, and I must fight against myself as well. As a man, it is your responsibility to work hard on yourself, to work hard on your body, to better your mindset, to better your habits, because these things, they will bring hope to other people, because you will become strong and tough when needed, in those circumstances when it's needed, in the struggles when it's needed, because you have became stronger through all that pain, through all that refinement, through bettering yourself, giving up your desires, and just following the purpose which God has set for you. It is all rooted within that discipline, with not caring about the way you feel, but caring about the way you will look, the way you will act, your character, and just the strength that you will attain. Every time that I was on my diet and I was training hard, when the weekends came, I just gave into the food and I ate everything. And that was because of my lack of discipline. I always wanted to rely on the emotions that I felt, and especially when it was the most convenient. When everyone's at home, people are ordering food, and you're around that environment, you just want to give in and you want to give up because you want to feel the same type of way. And for many years, I struggled with that. But I had to realize, is it going to be me doing the same thing every single week and regretting it? Or is it going to be me going through that pain, but attaining that body that I desired? For many years, I always had the fear of missing out. I thought that if I didn't go out and chase the pleasures of this world and did the things that other people did, I would miss out. But that is completely false. What you're actually missing out on is bettering yourself. What you're actually missing out on is all the beautiful things that God has set for you, to strengthen yourself through just reflecting on what you can improve on, through reflecting on who you are and what you could be. Because these things will bring more hope to other people. These things will give you more strength, and people will see it within you. Give yourself a couple minutes to sit down and truly think about what you're doing in life and whether you're striving after the man that you're meant to become. Have a vision. Literally imagine yourself being confident, being jacked, being shredded, and having some type of purpose in life to go after. Think about that. Sit down and think about that. Write it down from your mind. Write all your thoughts down. And then truly make a decision whether you are living in vanity or whether you're following your purpose. A lot of the times we try to rely on the temporal emotions in the present, completely deceiving us. But we never rely on the purpose that is set for us. We never rely on the way we could actually feel in life if we refine ourselves, if we better ourselves. There is that light at the end of the tunnel. There is that light at the end of the tunnel. Even if it feels dark right now, all you are doing is refining yourself. All you are doing is bettering yourself through that. What really taught me was being by myself and going through that intensity of fighting against my own desires and my own wants. Because that taught me about what I could become and what purpose God has set for me in life. The purpose which is aligned with His morals. I have the vision of being an entrepreneur, of excelling in boxing, and to better my physique in life, so that I can impact other people, I can impact other men to rise. That is the true vision that I have, that was set into my heart. And I really had to distance myself away from the world to realize whether that was my true purpose, whether that was the true vision. And every single day that I wake up early in the morning when I don't want to, I still feel like there's a sense of purpose. I never get discouraged. Don't rely on that emotion. Rely on the discipline and rely on the encouragement of the purpose that you have. Rely on you being encouraged to looking better, you being encouraged to being stronger, you being encouraged to being more confident, you being encouraged to setting up that business that you've always had in your mind. That is the main purpose that you have. The courage that comes from that, from seeing it, from having that vision, not the emotion in the moment. Because emotions come and go, emotions wither away. They don't matter. What matters is that discipline and the actions you take, because that is what is going to get you to the position which you desire to be in. That is it. Everything is rooted in discipline. And that discipline that I attained from boxing, that fighter level mentality, is what kept me going, is what kept me fighting within those moments where I wanted to give up. But the purpose is what gave me the courage. There are two things that are very important in your life to progress as a man. To progress physically, mentally, with your habits, and just with your career in life. And what it is the encouragement of your purpose and the discipline of the moment. The discipline of your moment is what is going to make you take the action to get to your purpose. And that encouragement is going to keep you going. That is the way I go about my life. Having that encouragement of my purpose every single morning, even if I don't feel like it. And that discipline makes me go and makes me go take that action. The way boxing transformed my life is that it gave me the mentality of having that fighter level discipline and getting to a higher state in life. Through not caring about the emotions I feel, but through caring about the purpose that is set behind those actions. And I believe that there is a huge vision for me to set up a platform for other men to rise in physique, in mindset, and developing their habits. I have developed a method for myself throughout all of this, which I call the FIT method, foundation, intention, task. This structure keeps me going. This structure is where I apply discipline every single day. The foundation is my morning routine. I wake up early in the morning when it's dark, praying to God, reading the Bible, coming out here in the garden and doing some skipping, fighting against myself through just doing some intense movements. Then I take a cold shower and I have my coffee of the day. I have that reward. And that just keeps me going throughout the day. It builds that momentum, which builds that movement towards my progression. Having that very simple structure. The intention is what I want to achieve. I want to get myself shredded. I want to become more confident, more jacked, and just be in a better physical shape and develop better habits. That is my intention. And the task is the things that I need to go and do, the actions that I need to take. Do the steps of the day, how much calories I'm meant to eat, and what I'm meant to train. Because when you have that order and you have that structure, you know what to do. And all it requires is your discipline to go and take the required actions. That is all it is having that discipline, having that structure. So what I really advise is create a structure for yourself. Follow this method. Follow the FIT method. Foundation, intention, task. Set yourself a morning routine. What are you going to do in the morning that is going to push you? What intention do you have? What do you want to achieve in life? Where do you want to get? What do you want to look like? And set the tasks that are required in order to get there. And all you have to do is apply discipline to the structure. Once you have order and once you have structure, you know where to go and you know what to do. All it requires for you is to do and get there. I did that myself. I got from a stage in life from being fat, overweight, podgy, having insecurity, and looking for validation through things that didn't even matter, to getting more jacked, to getting shredded, and to continuously bettering myself. I have the vision to get into amateur boxing and to set up this business, and I believe that it is possible and I will achieve it through just taking the required actions and not relying on emotion and just relying on the discipline that is set for us. That is all. Follow the purpose which God has designed for you to follow. Follow it and don't care about the emotions that you feel through it, but just have that encouragement of the purpose and see that there is meaning to it. Don't follow the world and its perceptions and its validations. Follow what God has set for you. Follow the purpose that you have and the encouragement that you have from that purpose. Show love to other people and stay blessed.